And what did you like most about the way those guys played?
Well, just the continued resiliency that our team is showing. Obviously we started a little slow again, kind of like we did the Albany game the week before our bye, and then we had the bye. So, we moved the ball a little bit, but kept stalling, and they had a really nice first down play for about 28, 30 yards, and then they ran a reverse for a touchdown. So they got the first score on the board. Um, we had two field goals blocked. We had a punt that was tipped and blocked. I mean, it still went 30 yards, thankfully, as opposed to going backwards, because that would have been a great opportunity for them to get a scoop and score if they blocked it. But it was more of a tipped punt, I guess you'll call it. We had a punt return for a touchdown called back for a holding call. So we knew special teams was going to be a huge part of the game. We talked to our guys about it all the time. They had done some really good things on special teams. We're trying to, continue to do well on special teams. Braden Reed, our punt returner, continues to set us up with pretty good field position. We didn't have a chance to really. We only had one kickoff return that wasn't a touchback. So from a kick return perspective, we only got one opportunity, and they gave us a different look than anticipated. So we knew they were going to change some things up. Coach Shinnick always has their guys ready to play hard, so we knew it was going to be a very physical game. Um, I'm sure you already know from the first half, the Ragland got injured and had to come out of the game, and he'll be fine moving forward, thankfully. But he got his a little slit in his lip and needed to go get it stitched up. And then David Abbott got hit, and he had to come out of the game. And then next man up mentality. Thank God we had Jabril Mace. So. And Jabril's awesome. I mean, he's really rotationally in number of carries, kind of our third guy behind those two. He is our leading kick returner. And he is a great teammate. He's very unselfish. I don't want to say he waits his turn because he practices really hard and always is preparing for his turn. And this past weekend, as you can see, he got his turn and took full advantage of the opportunities he was presented with. So thank God he had a great game, and he'll be the first to tell you that it's because of the other 10 guys on the field. The guys up front blocking for him, the guys blocking downfield for him, and those type of things. So he had a great game, and we're just thankful that he was able to do what he did and get us, on top. Second half, we woke up a little bit, had a few better drives, and put the ball in the end zone. And he had all four touchdowns. So a career day. Appreciate you guys, having him as CA Player of the Week and those type of things. But again, very humble young man, and we're just glad he's on our squad.
I was going to say just how rewarding because it can't be you even though you guys alternate backs. I mean, being the number three back and he gets on the field as a kick returner, but continue to get the reps and to see a guy like that have the kind of day that he had as a coach has got to be rewarding and a lesson maybe to some of the younger guys who are sitting at the twos and the threes, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's kind of what I said in the locker room after the game. Um, Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to travel. Everyone wants to start. Everyone wants to be all league, right? But not everyone can. But just because you're not now doesn't mean you can't be later if you put in the work. And he is, as I already said, Jabril's very humble, great teammate, never complaining, never pouting about lack of playing time, lack of carries, any of that type of stuff. Always has great body language at practice. Just practice one speed, and that's full speed. And it showed up on Saturday when he finally got the opportunity. And I tell the team all the time, you never know when that window of opportunity is going to open itself. And when that door opens, you better be ready to jump through it. And he was able to do that. So he covers kickoffs for us sometimes. He's on the punt block team sometimes. So again, we try to find ways to get a guy like that on the field because he is a good player. But we feel we have three good players. Thankfully, we have some depth in that room, and the guys up front did a good job. When we did our assignment and our guys knew what they were doing, and we went the right way and got a hat on a hat, good things were happening. Unfortunately, in the first half, we were maybe a little rusty off of the bye. But maybe, a couple times we maybe slid the protection the wrong way, or, we didn't quite get that linebacker covered up enough and those type of things, or we didn't pick up the twist and ended up getting pressure on the quarterback. So, we just didn't play well enough, consistently enough to, do a little better in the first half. But figured some things out at halftime. Guys came out in the second half, and we had a hat on a hat a little bit better. I mean, the one of the drives was an 82-yard one play drive. I mean, so and then we had a 16 play drive and missed a field goal. So we had a 9 minute, 16 play drive and came up empty. And then we had a one play, 82-yard drive and got 7 points. I'd rather have the 7 points than the time of possession. We've talked about that before, Rob. But any way you can get a victory, any way you can get a victory on the road, any way you can get a league victory, we'll take them any way we can get them. So we're just thankful we got 1-0 last week, and that's our goal moving forward.
Question for you this morning from Griffin. Good morning, Griffin.
Good morning, guys. Two quick questions. First of all, do you have an idea of when David will be back? And second of all, what can you say about your offensive line? I mean, on Jabril's 82-yard touchdown, and he had open grass in front of him from the start, and just wide open hole.
Yeah, that was a good play. Our right guard, Chris McCullers, actually said to me, Coach, I just got up to the linebacker just on time and got in his way just enough. And then Jabril got by him. So, and when you watch it on film, that is exactly what happened. If he was one step later, that linebacker might have had a shot to, make the tackle at the second level. When you rush for over 300 yards and you have a guy do what Jabril was able to do, it always starts up front. It always starts up front. And then you got good blocking down the field. So, like I said, Jabril will be the first one that will, give credit to the offensive line for opening the holes for him the way they did. And he's not real big, but he's stronger than I think people realize. He can run through arm tackles. And, a lot of stuff we've done with him because of his speed has been on the perimeter. But he showed this past Saturday he can, run between the tackles as well, which is a good thing for him to put on film. As far as David, we think it was just a helmet to the leg or to the knee and a bone bruise or a little bit of a bruise. So we'll find out more as we get into before we head to Tuesday's practice. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that that's all it is, and get a little day or two off and ice it a little bit. It did swell up a little bit on him, but I'm hoping that David just took a helmet to the knee as he was making a catch down the field. His foot was not planted, so it didn't look like it was anything too crazy beyond that.
Thank you.
Mark, talk a little bit about your defense, which outside of that 45-yard reverse play to Dunmore held them out of the end zone 287 yards. What were you able to do to slow Towson down?
Yeah, we just started playing better. I mean, we almost, if our defensive end coming off the side that they ran the reverse to, took the proper angle, we might have been able to knock that down, but he kind of flattened out a little, just enough for Dunmore to get around him. And then obviously, our pursuit wasn't able to get there in time to stop that 46-yard touchdown. But our guys have been playing well. They're playing hard. They're, like I said to you last week or 2 weeks ago, Rob, our guys are doing better with the open field tackling. The more we're doing it, the better we're getting at it. And that's what you hope happens. Because as I mentioned to you earlier in the season, because of the lack of our roster depth, we don't do a lot of live 11-on-11 work in preseason or even in the spring for that matter. So sometimes, and you see it at every level, sometimes tackling looks like a little bit of a lost art. And now that you're playing full games and you have to tackle people and you're forced to tackle people, we're getting better at tackling people. And our guys in our secondary, as I said, our secondary is doing a good job playing the ball down the field. We're doing a better job, not letting guys get behind us. We're doing a better job, staying true to our coverage, and we're doing a better job playing the ball when it's in the air. We still don't have as many interceptions as we would like. But we're breaking the ball up and we're having more pass breakups than we had earlier in the year, playing the ball better in the air. And our guys up front are doing a good job. We're making the quarterbacks get off their spot. We're getting pressure, with 3 or 4 man rush as opposed to having to blitz all the time. We're forcing some fumbles. Obina Wobodo had another strip fumble recovery on a run play, so that was good to see. So we're kind of getting after that part of it as well. Something we always try to emphasize, the turnover ratio, and we're got a couple more takeaways. As long as we keep winning the turnover battle, we're going in the right direction.
Before I let you go, another tough opponent coming in to Villanova next week in Stony Brook, 5-5, and coming off a win. What impresses you about Villanova?
When you watch those guys,
about Stony Brook.
I got it. Yeah, I got it, Rob. No worries. It's going to be a similar type contest in my humble opinion. They're very good. They got, Dempster there. I'm sure some people say that about our guys, but he's one of those guys in the league that seems like he's been here forever. They're really good at running the football. Obviously, they're able to put the ball in the air like we saw this past week, with a new quarterback, the rookie of the week this week. So now, we're watching film on the other guy majority of the time, and now we got to get ready for a second guy. Um, their run defense is really good. They're going to play real hard. I know Coach Kosh is going to have those guys ready to go, just kind of like Coach Shinnick did. Everybody's going to be ready to play, and they're going to come out. They're going to play physical. They're going to play fast. Um, you look at the statistical categories, they're right there with just about everything. We're neck and neck in just about everything as far as points, run defense, pass defense, all those things. So I've been spending a little more time on Sunday and Monday on the special team side of the ball before I get onto their offense and defense as far as talking personnel there. Their place kicker puts the ball where he wants to put it, and they do a good job covering kicks, and special teams are going to be a factor again as well. So, yeah, another CAA game. I'm glad we're at home. Happy we're at home and not traveling. And hopefully we can go 1-0 this week, as we always talk about.
All right, Mark. Thanks as always for the time.